Hey everybody, Poker Dad here. So here we are. We're going to be playing a session of NL50 on Global Poker. If you saw my message yesterday, you saw that I made the announcement that I was making the move to Global Poker for NL50 and probably NL100 as well because the rake is best here in at these limits compared to Ignition and Bet Online. So I played. I started off playing earlier today. I was up about $35 through. I played roughly. How many hands did I play? I played 154 hands, so not too much. But I'm just starting off playing one table on here. I'll fold this up. Hang on. So I'm probably playing one table on here until I get used to the buttons again, and also the speed because it does move a little bit quicker. Oh, actually, a lot quicker than Ignition does. Ignition gives you like 30 seconds of a timer. Here you get, I'd say, about 15 or 20 seconds, maybe the most, for your timer. So just starting off playing one table, maybe in a couple of days, maybe by Tuesday night, I'll bump it up to two tables. But for right now, as I get used to the players and get used to the buttons and all that other stuff, I'm going to focus on playing one table. Um, you know, so far as I've seen, definitely as I expected. Very weak player pool, even here at NL50, tons of limping going on, similar to Ignition. Um, so obviously, right here, we'll make it $1.50 in a small blind with Ace King, and versus small stack player, which obviously must be a rec player here. So we get 5, 10, 10 out of position here. I'm going to check and uncall it. And here the flop really does not much get much better for us here. Being out of position, again, I'll be happy to check it here. And he throws in a min bet. Definitely won't be folding to the min bet, so we'll call it. And the 4, again, nothing really too exciting. Maybe he has a 9, maybe he has a 5. Well, in the $4 bet, we're definitely going to be folding this one up. And because he is short stack here, I'm going to label him blue for a rec player. Queen 5, I'm going to fold it up. And that's what I'm looking for here. And of course, the difference is, since I don't have any HUDs to work with here, is I'm going to be labeling players as I see if they are recreational players or regs, and also taking notes when I see certain things happen, which you can usually find from Showdown. And what I'm doing in terms of tracking hands is I will show you. I made on my spreadsheet this spot for hand reviews. So here are the links to specific hands, so you can actually put these into the web browser and I can replay a hand. And that's how I do my hand reviews from Global Poker. But of course, I'm still going back to Drive HUD as well and all my other past hands that I have saved for hand reviews before I would get to this point, because I like to do them in date order. The older the hand I'm going to review, the better, because I'm definitely not going to remember it. Although I've been playing so many hands, it's hard to really remember specific hands, except for maybe ones that I've had put on YouTube. So anyway, we have five players now, and 9-3 would be a fold, of course. Similar to Ignition on Global Poker, they don't have an auto top-up feature. They kind of do in a way, actually, if you take a look here. I can't show you now, but actually I think I can show you here in the settings. This is if you don't normally play on Global Poker. You see they do have an auto top-up, actually, but they don't allow you to do full under 100 big blinds. I think the most that they will let you do, let's see, maybe they changed it. No, see, they won't let you do 1 through 95, which I really don't understand why they won't let you do 100. So basically, then what I actually do is I just bump it up as soon as I fall below. But actually, I could. Sometimes, yeah. So sometimes it's at least there if I fall below 95. But like in a situation like you've seen just already, I can bump it up myself too if it's not going to be below 95, of course. Here I get queen 8, and I'm using, because there are so many loose passive players here, I am using the microstakes opening ranges. This queen 8, of course, is going to be a fold here to a limp. And like I said, you'll definitely see a lot of open limping here at NL50. Very similar to how it is at Ignition. So basically, what's the big difference? The big difference is the fact that the rake is slightly lower here, which is what I explained in my video yesterday. So anyway, we can see right now we have a 5-way family pot going on here, and a 5, 2, and a 3 out there on the board. Let's see if anybody takes some initiative in betting here. You figure somebody here has got to have some kind of piece of the board. And here's the guy who open limped. Actually, I had a situation earlier today where a guy open limped, and then I raised it up, and then he shoved it. What I was doing earlier today in my hands, because there was so many recreational players at the table. In fact, everybody was a recreational player at the table, and there was so much limping going on that when I did open, I would actually, my opens would be, if there was no limper, my opens would actually be $2, so 4 big blinds, and then I would have a big blind per limper. So for the most part, I was opening up either $2 or $2.50 is what it ended up turning out to be in every situation that happened there. So it was an interesting session though too, because 29 hands in, I was actually down a buy-in already. So I was actually down, yeah, I was down $50 to start the session, and but it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me in the least, and I ended up finishing the session up. If the one table broke and I ended up joining another table, that table I was up $84, so the total session I was up $35. And what I ended up doing is I ended up depositing $200 onto the site. So I said $200 is the point where if I should happen to lose that $200, then that would be a point where then I would drop back down to NL25. And since NL25 I'd be playing on Ignition, I figured I'd put $200 here on Global Poker. If I happen to lose that $200, then I'd be moving down to NL25 anyway, and I wouldn't be playing on Global Poker until I move back up to NL50. So this is all explanation. I hope you all enjoyed that explanation. And let's see if we get to play 7-5 here as a check. We do. Let's go play post flop. So it's not a great board. Nothing really happening here. It's an easy check fold situation. And now we do have a backdoor flush draw, but there's a pair of aces out there as well, and our flush is not very strong. Let's just check it off here. I don't think I would call a bet. And now we have two pairs, makes it even more interesting. Let's check it. Let's see what he bets if he decides to bet anything. And we might be able to actually just take this down with a 5. We assume he probably doesn't, maybe doesn't have a 9. And just min bet here. We'll just call it and see if we just take him down a little bet here. And he actually takes the other 5-2, but he had a jack, so that's fine. Small blind here, 7-6 is going to be a fold. I can top myself up. So we get a $1.75 open raise from Scoo from the under the gun. Now he is a short stack too, so anybody with a short stack, I'm just automatically giving him the blue, because as we know, no reg would be sitting there with a short stack like that. So we got TRL, and we have this guy here, No Pride Blizzy, and Scoo, all with short stacks. They get the blue. This guy too, but let's just wait a little bit. 49.25. Too early to really say. And I'm not sure what happened with him. He just decided to sit out, and he's gone. Bye-bye. King Jack here from the button. And we get the limp there from him, so I'm going to refer to my limping chart. And King Jack offsuit is actually a limp behind. So I do, obviously, there, just like I did with Ignition, I will definitely limp behind in certain situations here. We do have a straight draw. So on the button here, we get a min bet. I got no problem just calling this min bet. I'm not going to raise it in a situation with these other players sitting here as well. Might as well just call the min bet, and it's kind of great that that just kind of came in that way. Now we got a paired board. Again, another min bet. So we have no reason to fold. We have no reason to raise it. We'll just call it here. See if we're going to get it straight. And we do not. So interesting to see what he decides to do. He min bets again. Is it possible he has some kind of pair or something like that? Sure. Is it possible that king high could win? He's just sitting here min betting the entire time. He could have 8. We don't know what the hell he could possibly have, so I'm just going to call it, and we'll see what happens. And he had 9-8. So something we could just keep in mind here, that his min bets don't mean really much of anything. I'm going to make a note there. Let's see, queen 9 from the cutoff would end up being a fold. So let's make a note right now on this guy here. Min bets lead with 2 pair. Min bets strong, medium, strong hands. So we know that his min bets, obviously, so this is really important, especially for the river. Obviously, I'm definitely, no matter what, calling the flop and the turn with a straight draw, needing just a 10 to get the straight. But the river, so we know that he had something. He wasn't just betting for the sake of betting, even though it seemed like it. This guy Pig comes in here. This is kind of like a limp, so that's how I'm going to have to kind of take it. Kind of annoying having that right in front of us there, but let's just make this 2.5. And we do get a call here from the guy who posted. Kind of annoying. We got to play out of position versus him. But let's see what we get here. Kind of a position for us here. I'm just going to check it off, not knowing what he could be doing. And he does check it, which is interesting here. This really kind of more fits his range than mine. So we could definitely check here as well. I'll probably just end up folding it. If he bets, even if he min bets, I'm definitely just going to fold it. He checks it here, and really nothing happening. Maybe I could win it with my ace high. It's quite possible. Only a 6 is needed for a straight, so no reason for me to bet. Let's see what he does here. And we both had the same thing, which is fine. 10-3, we can fold that up. Let's get some more money. So we get the open limp over there from Scoo, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And you get a limp call, so 3-way pot. Definitely going to be a lot of multi-way pots here. CTU checks and TRL, let's see what he does. And I think it's also kind of important, paying attention to what everybody is doing here. Take notes, because without there being a HUD, we kind of need to get an idea of how people are playing. So Scoo, who was min raising, who was min betting, goes in with a $1 bet here. So you feel like he could definitely have an 8 because he's trying to get some value. And this is an interesting spot here. So 2.5, $2.50. It's with $3.50 pot. So he folds up. So he didn't have an 8. Not quite sure what he was betting that $1 with. And we will never know. And it's a decent bet by CTU there also. So we're sitting here with 8.5. So CTU open raising $1.75. We'll take note of that. Obviously, I'm going to be folding this here. Let me just top up. Here we're getting 9s and a small blind. So let's see what we're going to do here. This is an interesting spot. So this raise, you wonder if that means something. And we got a 3 bet here from this guy. That's a very interesting spot. I'm actually going to fold this, believe it or not. I'm going to fold the 9s to essentially what is a 3 bet. And we all do. His $1 was very aggressive for him, who's been, I think he's been limping. And then for him to 3-bet here in that spot, this guy seems like he kind of has semi of an idea of what he's doing. Made it very interesting. 8-7 here from the button. I can raise it up $1.50. Let's see what happens here. See if Scoot comes in. I expected him to. It seems like he's going to want to play every single hand. Interesting spot here. $1.62 donk into us. Not something I'm going to be looking to continue here, so I'm just going to fold it off. Ace, king out there. Not really something I wanted to do. Really didn't have much going. Needed 2 cards for a straight. Here we get kings. So let's see what happens here. This spot here. All right. So it seems like people are really folding here. So I'm just going to raise it up to 2. I think 2.5. I don't think it's going to be necessary at this table because it really only looks like we have 2 recreational players from what I can tell. And we do get the call from TRL. And pretty good flop for him. But I'm definitely going to throw a C-bet out there. And I'll bet it $3.60. He is short stacked, which we got to keep in mind. He raises it here, which is interesting. I mean, he could definitely have a set. Let's call it. I don't see any reason to fold here in this spot. This isn't helpful. If he has a 6, he has a straight now. He shoves us all in, which really, really feels like he probably has a 6 or a set. I really think at this point this is such a good hand for him that I could actually fold my kings here because I don't really see much way for me to improve this hand. Yeah, I'm gonna fold the kings here. There's just too much that he can have that can possibly beat me, and I don't think he's betting like this. He's gonna be passive, so we'll just fold up the kings. He's not doing this with worse than kings. That's what we call a discipline fold. Here I'm gonna make it $1.50. Tough to fold those kings, versus a recreational type player, but he's not betting like that without at minimum 2 pair. Could easily have a set, and even if he just has a 6, he has a straight there, and there's really not much way I'm going to be able to improve from my kings, and we don't expect a player like this, short stack, recreational type player to be bluffing in that spot. Definitely not. So really ends up being really not that difficult of a fold when you think about it. There's no advantage to calling that bet. We'll wait for better spots. I do think it was worth the call for the raise, but definitely not the shove. And really the turn card made things even worse for us. So we get an open raise from him at $1.75. And he does throw out a pot-sized C-bet. Let's see what Pig does here. It's been interesting to see he's open with $1. He's open with $1.75. I haven't noticed if he's open limped yet. Here we get King Queen from the button, which I would definitely be opening up. And definitely $1.05 is fine here at this table. And let's see. He actually folded. Well, he actually found a hand that was actually bad enough to fold. You don't see that very often. Here's Queen 6. We can fold that one up. And again, we get the open limp from TRL. Let me take a look at Hand of God and see what he's really doing. We haven't really seen much out of him yet. He is playing slightly short stack. He's not topping up, but I'm not going to go crazy at $48.78 and just call him a recreational player. He does raise it up here, 4, 5, 6. And Scoo will go. So still don't have really any kind of a gauge on him. Queen 3 here, we're definitely going to fold that up. From when I used to play on Gold Poker, I always said, oh, the guy who has this particular avatar is usually pretty solid. All right, so we get, I'm definitely, even though he's not topping up, he had, this guy here, Pig, has some, I feel like he's probably a reggish player. Now, he's not topping up, but, he definitely, that bet right there tells me a little something that he decided to bet $1.50. So he's not limping. I'm curious to see what he opened up here. We get a huge bet here, pot size bet from TRL for 8-7-8 Jack. Not really great for the open raiser. And he folds it up, which kind of makes sense in this spot. Here we get 10-4 in the big blind, so we can fold that up. Unless, of course, it checks to us. So let's see if he bets or if he opens it. So he opens it. So he's going with $1.75 open. And, of course, I'm going to fold this. We still play 5-handed. This guy's still hanging around. 7-2 offsuit and small blind. We can fold it. Let's see if he goes $1.75. He doesn't. Let's see what he does here. Hand of God. Folds it up. We all fold it. Nothing happening. Really curious to see about Hand of God. He's the one guy I still don't know much about yet. 3-7. Not much better than the 7-2. Fold from Hand of God. So Hand of God, not really playing a lot of hands. We can keep in mind that he is not playing a lot of hands. We'll definitely take note of that, especially if he opens. That he's probably going to be opening with a pretty tight range. That's what it looks like so far. TRL, we expect to either fold or open limp. If he doesn't open limp, then we got to feel like he's probably got something pretty solid. Let's see what happens here. He does. So he opens up at $1.75. Interesting. Let's see if we get to see what he opened up with. And see what Hand of God does here. Hand of God, definitely a tight player. We get Queen 2-6. Probably not a great board for either player. I expect TRL to have a premium hand, and he's acting like it with that $4 bet, pot size bet. Which just seems like it's kind of like a normal bet for him, it seems. These pot size bets. 5-3, I'm going to definitely fold that one up. Let's see. So here's Scoo and the button open limps. Very interesting. So sometimes he's betting $1.75, sometimes he's open limping. Hand of God is in this hand. He followed through in a small blind, which, isn't crazy, of course, depending on what he might have. Maybe a middling type hand. TRL bets $1 into $1.50 pot. And let's see, Scoo is the one who open raised. He calls that bet. Let's see what Hand of God does here. Hand of God, we think is a tight player, folds it up. And now we get another 7 on the board here and see what TRL does. TRL's definitely been leading in at times here. He does it again. TRL loves those pot-sized bets. So that's going to be interesting. Keep that in mind when we play with him. That pot-sized bet might not mean anything. It just might be he just likes to hit that button. Because there are 2 buttons to press. There's the half pot button and there's the pot button. And he likes to press the pot button. He's a recreational player. He's just pressing buttons. And here we get Hand of God in the button. And we'll just take down with a 10-3. Hey, there you go. It's pretty nice. Pretty excited about that. I'll take down whatever I can take down. 4-2. Nothing happening here. We're not getting to play hands, but at least we're getting to watch everybody else play hands. And it's quite interesting just sitting here and watching other people play hands. Scoo is sitting out. He's done. Interesting raise. So this is an open raise here from the cutoff, and it's $1.13. Strange raise. Strange raise from somebody who is a tight player. I guess I don't know what to make of that. We're 4-handed now. So we got the one recreational player here. We got this guy who has come regular tendencies, but he's not topping up. And we have Hand of God, who appears to be a tight player. He raises up $1.75, and he does get the call. And let's see, 10-7 queen. We got to think it's good for hand to God. And a $2 bet leading out, and TRL calls it. I'm not surprised by that. TRL, I think, is probably going to be a calling station. We got a straight draw on the board. He got a flush draw on the board. And we get a $4 bet into a $7.75 pot. Let's see what TRL decides to do here. TRL raises it. It looks familiar. He did that to me. And see what Hand to God does. Hand to God calls. So we know Hand to God has some kind of hand. Probably has some kind of ace in his hand. You know, I could see him possibly with the check right there. I think it's quite interesting. A pair of aces. There you go. There you go. Pair of aces from our tight player of Hand to God, and that kind of makes sense. I think that's what type of hand you're going to see out of him. So you just get a limp from Hand to God, which is fine in that spot. King 2-10. Rainbow. Checks it off, which is fine. TRL. See if TRL does a dollar bet. He doesn't. I think TRL, one thing, is going to be pot honest. He's not going to bet if he has nothing. And we get a min bet from Hand to God. Kind of strange. Let's try to read that min bet. We'll find out in a second. See King 2, 10-2. See what happens here. Another min bet from Hand to God. And let me call. 10-8. So he had a pair of tens. He min bet the pair of tens. I'm not really sure what the point of that was. It just doesn't seem logical. Hand to God here in the button. I feel like he was been the button the last 2 times. Of course, we're going to fold what we got. We haven't had any cards in a while. Sitting out here, I think I'm going to go find a new table, actually. When I hit the big blind again, I'm going to find a new table. We'll get out of this one. We'll go find another one. Yeah, we're done with this table. This table is broken. I'll be right back. I'm going to go find a new table. So we have found another table here, and this first guy here, Leaf X Eater, has open limped. We have Hand to God again, which we definitely could put down as a tight player. In fact, I'm going to label him right now as a tight player. I always can change it, so I like to put red for a tight player. We have Ashman here, who is looking like a wreck player since he does not have any, since he is short stacked. And these two guys, we will see. Man Overboard and Terry Zap. And I'll be in this hand in 2 more hands. I'll be in this in action in 2 more hands here. So let's see what happens here. So Man Overboard. Let's see what he does. Man Overboard, $1.75 open raise. Hand to God, which we already have labeled as a tight player, raises it up. So that's a 3 bet here. Get a call from the Leaf Eater. See what Man Overboard. So we got 3-way pot. I feel like this is probably good for Hand to God, unless he, you know, if he has kings, queens, he's great. He's happy. Aces, he's happy. Hand to God, I do expect to kind of lead in here. Maybe with a half pot bet. Let's see what he does. Very small bet. Very $4.50 into an $18.25 pot. Kind of says to me either he could be slow playing aces, quite possible, and wanting them to stay in. Same thing with queens, quite possible. King comes out now, so obviously, let's see, Jack 10 would have gotten there, of course. There's a flush draw on the board, but I don't think we could be worried about either one of those hands unless somebody had a Jack 10 suited. Here we get a $13 bet into a $31 pot, and you get a call from Hand to God, And still staying three-way. No, nobody wants to get out of this pot, and it's gotten pretty big. It's at $70 now. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's see if Hand of God just shoves here. If Hand of God has those aces. So what do we got? So he had ace king. All right. Yeah, Jack Jack and 6-6. So I don't know what these two guys were doing. I don't know what these two guys were doing. Hand of God says thank you very much. I appreciate it. I definitely don't agree with Hand of God's opening bet, though. He bet so small on the flop. I think it was too small on the flop, to be honest with you. I mean, Ace King, it's a pretty vulnerable hand on that board. I would have liked to get people out, but obviously we were never getting out 6-6 and Jack Jack on that board, which... the Jack Jack I could see, the 6-6, I don't know what the hell he was doing. And I know I'm going to be getting out with this. So we have a dollar open raise from the Ash Man. He's an Ash Man. Yeah. Let's see. So Ash Man, let's see what he's going to do here. Ash Man bets $2 into $2.75. You see a lot of people leading out here at Global Poker. Lots of C betting going on. So we get a check after that. So he's had the C bet now. The 7 comes out now. He checks it. So interesting spot here. Calls it. Could put him on an 8. I'm not putting him on an 8. Could have put him on a 3. Could put him on a 4. He had nothing, so he got out with nothing, and pair of 7s wins it. So Ashman C bets out of position with air. I'll make a note of that in a second. Get an open limp there. So the button, the Jack 7 suited, I can actually limp behind on this one. Open. So he C bet with air. So we got what, Jack 7 here. I got a gut shot, so let's call it. I don't hit the gut shot. I don't have the backdoor flush draw anymore. I would love to see a check here and just see a free card. We don't get that. I won't be continuing on this one. I'm going to try and not bluff, really, versus these players. Because as you can see with these players, they're going to play very sticky. I mean, this really is a, I'd say, even though this is NL50, this is almost like NL2 at a site like BetOnline. Players have, this is micro stakes, even though this is supposed to be like now low stakes. It's definitely micro stakes with a $50 buy-in. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But it's going to require patience and playing tight, because these players are going to be very sticky, very passive at times, definitely passive, very recreational. I don't know how else to say it. Very recreational. I wasn't paying too much attention to this hand because I was too busy blabbering. The Ashman takes it down. Here we get 7-4, which we can fold that. So Leaf Eater, open raise is $3. Pretty unconventional. But he gets a call from the Ashman. And we get an ace, an 8, and a 6. He got a flush draw there. And Ashman donks out with, I would guess, either an ace or a set. And if he had aces, betting is $3. He has a set. And, well, now with the ace coming out, now I don't think, maybe ace king. Let's see. He had jacks, and he had queen 8. So he just had an 8, and he had jacks. Okay, so we'll fold this up. Yeah. So he had 8s. He had queen 8. He had queen 8 of hearts at least. He had queen 8 of hearts. All right. I mean, obviously it's so poorly played, but I don't know if we could analyze that. The fact that there are aces on the board and he's playing the way he did. So Ashman's reckless. Ashman did top up though here. Oh, no, because he was all in. Oh, I forgot the time. Oh no, this isn't right. You know, I'm gonna make a note when I get it. When I get a chance, I will make a note. The fact that he donk led. I mean, this guy open. He called the queen 8 of hearts to his $3 bet too, which was pretty reckless. And then he had a pair of 8s. He bets, he raises, he calls with a pair of 8s on a board that has an ace. Reckless. Reckless. Donk bet. Pair of 8s. Raise with ace high board. Called raise. Now he's all in on queen 2-3. I mean, he could have a pair of 2s for all we know. But you know, we give him some kind of respect. I mean, could he be? I mean, could he be tilting? It's possible. Queen 2 is a fold. Hand to God, super tight player. Fold it up. Ashman open limps. Ashman completely unpredictable. Let's see what the Leaf Eater does. So Leaf Eater follows through, and we're going to have a big multi-way pot of 4 people here. Oh. So Terry decides to bump it up $1.50. Ashman's going to call because we know Ashman wants to see flops no matter what. He'll pay no matter what to see a flop. We've proven this already. 5-4-4. Terry open raised it out of position. He bets $3 into 5 cents, and we get a call from Ashman, who could have a flush draw, could have a 5 raise from Leaf Eater on this board. So we think Leaf Eater right has a 4 maybe. Maybe he has a 5. Maybe he has, I don't know. So we get a fold from Terry's app. So Terry's app, I think, was just c-betting for the sake of c-betting there. And it's very possible that one of these guys has a 4 or a 5. Get an $11 bet into 23, so a half pot bet. Let's see what Leaf Eater does here. I mean, if you don't have a 4 or 5, I think you might want to fold this one, because what else have you guys been betting with? You know, unless you guys have been betting with, a higher pocket pair, a flush draw. They're both in it. Let's see if anybody has a 10 here. I mean, it's kind of tough to put anybody on ranges at this point. This would be a funny video to watch. Like, oh, what are these guys doing? All right, so he's all in with $41, and we get a call. And we do get the 4 right there. He had ace 6. What? All right, so I have ace 3 from the cutoff. In Olympic scenario, I'm going to limp behind. I don't know what in God's name Ashman is doing. He is pretty bad. He's just betting. He literally is just betting. I have a straight draw to the 5 here. Fortunately, Ashman is not playing in his hand, or maybe fortunately. Now I'd be happy just to check behind here. And it's a pair of 4s, so I mean, I'm just looking for a 5. maybe an ace. I'm not going to chase a gut shot. One card straight, and the pot odds. Let's see what the pot odds will be here. I mean, I have really 4 outs. So at $2 into a $6 pot, 25%. I can actually call it. I don't love it, and I bricked it. Just because I was getting 25% pot odds, I called to hopefully get a 5, or even an ace. It didn't happen, so we can easily fold this one up here. That was strictly a pot odds call right there. Here I get Queen 9 suited from the hijack, which, because I'm going to be playing tight, I will be folding this up. I know you guys probably want to see me play some hands, but, I got to play it tight here. I mean, the hands I'm losing very, very small. So when I do come up with something and I win the hand, it'll be a good situation for me. So we get a couple of checks here. 10, 9, 10 board. Ashman. Let's see what Ashman does here. It's a crazy guy. Crazy guy. He's out of control, this Ashman. He's an Ashman. So we get a raise from the super tight player. Can think maybe looking at ace 10 maybe. I see an ace 10 out of him. I didn't see what he bet. Now he's leading in $5 to 9.5. I would tell you right now, Terry, be careful of this guy. 10, 9, 10, king 7. I feel like he's definitely got a 10. Either he has 10 or he could have a pair of nines where he has a full house. Quite possible. 10 into 19. Half pot bets, approximately, about, give or take a little bit more. And Terry folds it up, and I think, I don't think Hand to God is betting with nothing. He's got hands. Queen Jack offsuit, unfortunately, from the other the guns, be a fold for me. Yeah, at that point, you got to. Unless you got it, you got to get out. But I mean, Hand to God was also given pretty good odds if for whatever Terry was betting with, for him to continue. Even there on the river, but it seemed to me like at minimum, Hand of God had a 10 and had at least 3 10s. So we get the Ashman, who will bet with anything. He could. We don't think he has these. He could really have anything. Ace high. He likes just ace. Maybe ace high has. God knows. Could have. Nah, God knows what he could have. Now he checks. Hand to God. If he has something, bet it. If he doesn't, don't. Because Ashman is a calling station. He will bet anything. He will call anything. See if he proves me wrong. He proves me wrong. Ashman decided, all right, I've had enough of losing money tonight. We got to keep that in mind. 2-4. We get 2-4. We'll fold it. Of course, if these people are taking notes on me at this point, they're going to say, oh, he's just super nitty. And really, I've just been card dead. I'm not super nitty. I'm laughing. Hey. This is what he's doing. Hand to God. Hand to God raises up $1.13. Last time he did this, he had a pair of aces, I think. Let me just top up and we'll fold. And here we get 4 pocket 4s. So this is something we can definitely play. And so we get an open raise. And so the 4s, I could either raise or fold. Now we get a 3-bet. See, now I got to fold the 4s. I can't call a 3-bet in this spot. 4s are so marginal. It kind of sucks, but all right, we're not playing this hand either. I finally got something somewhat playable, and Ashman with his dollar, but then Leaf Eater finds a hand. So we can't screw around with that. With the 3-bet, especially from a rec player. Pretty telling. And now he's checking. Kind of feels like ace-king. Quite possible. Let's see. Ace-king. I said it exactly. Feels like ace-king the way he's playing it, and there it was. I have ace-jack from the button. Definitely a very playable hand. And with the open limp there, I will actually be bumping up to $2. We expect Ashman to call because that's what he does. See what Terry's app does here. Terry's app, I'm sure, I'm paying attention. He kind of looks like a reggish player. He calls me, and we'll go 3 ways. And we do get top pair, which is nice, so I will definitely be betting this. I'm going to bet a half pot. But we do get a bet here, $6.25. Pot size bet. Interesting spot here. All right, so we're just going to call it. I mean, he could be betting with anything. We know that. And let's see if we get some generosity out of Ashman or if we get sucked out by him. He just loves betting, this guy. We've seen him bet with absolutely nothing, so we'll just call it. Not the greatest flop. If I get sucked out by him, I get sucked out by him. Yeah, I got sucked out by him. So be it. We'll fold this up. We'll top up. Ashman found his hand versus me. We'll get it back. We'll get it back from him. It's tough to play. All right, it's tough to play in that spot because what am I supposed to do? I've seen this guy just completely donk bet with literally nothing. So he woke up with a hand there. Got a set, which turned into a full house. And there's really nothing I could do about it. Here I get jacks. So definitely bump this up to $2. And we get raised by the super tight guy here in the small blind. So let's see. The jacks here, I can actually raise it up again, so I'll make it 14. And we'll see what Handy God decides to do. He calls. We go three ways. Not a great flop for me with the ace sitting out there. Half pot bet here. Interesting spot. The jack is kind of tricky. But with half pot bet, I know somebody could obviously have an ace here, but we'll just call it. Let's see what Hand to God decides to do. If Hand to God raises it, I'm actually going to consider folding his hand. So I'm going to have to go all in here on a bet. And we just hope we don't run into an ace of any kind. And we'll just have to shove it here at this point. And we get the fold, thank goodness. And we'll fold the 9-2. So that was definitely a very interesting spot, to say the least. The fact that that was quite a wild spot. The fact that, welcome to Global Poker, by the way. It's chaos. And that's why you can't really get too down when you get sucked out by Ashman, because you never really know what the hell's coming up next. And that was a 4-bet that went three ways. Not only did it go three ways, but it even made it all the way to the turn, where I ended up going all in with Jackson. That was kind of a wild spot. But there you go. That's Global Poker. That's why you can't get too upset about getting sucked out in this site. I've seen it before. You're going to get it. You know, you just play. You play controlled. And, you know, ultimately, you'll be fine. And we'll just fold this up here. Because you just never know what you're going to get in this site. And if you stuck around long enough in this video's been going on for now almost an hour, you got to see that. Interesting. Two hands in a row. Very interesting. We get the open limp here from our buddy Ash. And in the small blind, 10-9 suited, I can actually raise this up here 2.5. And we'll see who comes along. And we'll see if there's any shenanigans. Ashman, as we expect. And we do go three ways. Not a great flop for me here. Not too much connectivity. Can easily just fold to a bet. And now we have interesting spots. We have an open-ended straight draw. There is a flush draw out there there is a flush out there potentially as well. Tough spot. And now such a small bet of $2. It's hard not to call this here with the open ender. Even though we got a flush out there, we have to call it. We're just getting too good of odds, and now at least we can just get the hell out of here. And he went with Jack 8, so he had a pair of 8s. And Ashman, oh, I was actually hoping Ashman would go, because Ashman's so confusing to play against. Oh my god. Listen, if you can't have fun, then what are you going to do? All right, we lost this guy over here. We lost the one rec player. I'm going to give these guys... well, he's been open raising. I'm going to give these guys reg tags at this point, even though they are not playing with full stacks. They are playing a reg style game as he open limps. I still feel like he is, though. Either he's playing super tight. Let's get a little more focus on Terry Zapp and man overboard here. See exactly what they're doing. See exactly what's up over here with these guys. We know he's a tight player, so we got 10 Jack 8. One thing I have lost focus on in this particular session is some of the things that I've learned from Upswing. So it's something I need to control, because sometimes things can get so crazy over here. You almost lose focus on how to play correctly. I have learned in the past, and I think that's something that we need to stay focused and not get lost in the mayhem. Because once we get lost in the mayhem, we're not card reading and we're not playing smart. And I think that's something to remind myself of right now at 11:22 p.m. on January 13th of 2018, is that I need to be focused and remember what I have learned from my Upswing training so far. It's funny, I'm actually doing their multi-pot multi-way pot program right now. 4-4, we'll bump it up $1.50. And just remember to play how we're supposed to play, and let's not let the mayhem get in the way of the right way to play. Even if you have a guy like Ashman who we can't trust, we can let him bluff us sometimes. I think it's okay to let him bluff us sometimes, because sometimes he's just going to have it, like in that scenario there. So let's see, we get Terry Zapp here, open limps. Ashman raises, and of course we are going to be out of here with this 6-4 anyway. Man overboard comes back. Good to see you, buddy. And the Ashman. Ashman's having an up and down session too. Our Queen 2 is fold. If I had to guess over right now, I'm probably down $15 in this session, I think. That's my guess, is I'm down $15 in this session. I guess it's kind of the good thing and the bad thing is I can't really monitor that too well. I do something, by the way, I wanted to show you guys, is on my spreadsheet. I do a loss limit calculation So, I don't want to lose any more than 3 buy-ins in a specific day. And when I have a session where I'm done with the session and I profit, I actually put that into this calculation. So this way then I don't lose my profits. And I think that's really kind of important. Queen 2 here, I can easily fold this. And let's see what the Ashman open limps. So the Ashman's all over the place. Ashman is open limping, he's open raising, he's doing a little bit of everything. And let's see, man overboard in the small blind. We'll see if Terry's app, what he does. I think Terry has his own app. We don't know. Can I ask him, hey, Terry, do you have an app? What's your app? So Ashman bets $1 at $1.25. Super unpredictable, Ashman. And I think just, really playing Ashman, honestly, is probably the best bet there. Jack 7, we'll fold that. Spin Griffey Jr. sits in here with a full stack. And my house just fell apart, but that's okay. Bye-bye. All right, so Hand of God is in his hand. Let's see, Jack 10-2. We got 3 ways. Check, 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 check. And Ashman there with his dollar bet. And Terry's app is going to come along. And if Hand of God does not connect, he will fold it. We know that. Hand of God, definitely a reg player. We can trust Hand of God and his betting. And let's see, we got now a pair of aces on the board. What did we have? We had 2 pair. He had a 10. Okay. My queen 4 I can fold. And we get the open one from Terry. Terry, I'm sorry to do this to you, but you've been downgraded to blue. I didn't notice all this open limping you were doing, but now I do notice it. And yeah, I don't have much else on you, but I haven't really seen you do too much. Let's see what we get here from Terry on the check. King 10-9 rainbow board. Bets $1.50, so pot size bet. Fold from the Hand of God. And of course the Ashman is. Ashman does not like to fold. He does fold once in a while. He does fold once in a while. And interesting now, check here. So I'm putting Terry probably on a king or a 10. I'll give him a king. He folds it. Now I don't know what to say. Maybe he had a 9. He could add a 9. I get 10-8 offsuit. Under the gun, we'll fold it. See if we get a limp from Terry. Here we do. See what Hand of God decides to do from there from the button. Fold it up. And the Ashman, and of course we get Spin Griffey Jr. now in the hand here. He's King 10. So let's see. Spin Griffey Jr. Check out. Everybody's checking around. Doesn't mean they can't have a king or a 10. Just makes you feel like they definitely don't have an ace. Let's have a bottomish ace. But I think most of these people, if they have an ace, they're probably betting. Queen 7 here from Big Blind is definitely a fold for us. I hope at least I'm able to make this video somewhat interesting, despite the fact that I have not been so involved. I feel like I've only played like 3 or 4 hands in like an hour. It feels like it at least. But at least 2 of them were action-packed. Queen 7 offsuit here from the cutoff. Let's make things kind of interesting. I'm going to make him sweat for a few seconds, and then I'll fold it up. Man overboard is sitting out again. And we've lost man overboard. And small blind, ace 3, I'm going to be folding that up. We know Terry's app will probably end up calling if I open raise it. Ace 3 offsuit, nothing exactly exciting hand. 10-3 offsuit. Fold that. And you get the Ashman open raise of $1. And everybody folds. Now we got BMX Life coming in here. And this guy's in BMX. high buy. Jack 7 from the cutoff from a raise. We can fold that. And you get the call from Terry Zapp and, of course, the Ashman. And Ashman leads in, which we've seen him do with nothing, but now, you know, we also know that he can do it with something. And he had a pair of kings. Okay. My king 6, we can fold that guy up. Hand to God in the button. So hand to God in here, he raises it up, everybody folds. And here I get a pair of 3s in big blind. Hand to God in the cutoff, folds it, and we'll just limp behind here, check it, our 3s. And we do not get a set. And we do get a min bet here. So I will definitely call it. 7 comes out now. Not so excited anymore. And now with the 5, interesting spot here. And we actually take that one down. I kind of had a feeling maybe he had a 2 sitting there. And he did. Okay, I'm starting to really not feel too good. So I'm gonna sit out when the next big blind is coming my way. I need to use the bathroom. So we'll call the video after I hit the big blind. I don't want to wait before the big blind. At least get to the big blind. And we'll call the videos. Videos running longer than I thought it would. We've been at an hour, 2 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. I hope I at least kept it entertaining for you guys, despite the fact that I really was not involved in any hands at all. I mean, I was involved in some, of course, but not too much. Not too much. Just enough. Had a little bit of action with Ashman. Here we get king 6 from the button. Fold that up. Hand to God, fold at Ashman will either give us a dollar raise, yep, dollar raise, or an open raise, an open limp. Ace 9 king. Check there. Ashman, we know he can. Yeah, oh, Ashman will see bet wide, so we don't have to believe he has anything here on this board. Terry Zapp doesn't either. And let's see, Terry Zapp checks, and we get an Ashman check behind. So, you know, he's c-betting, like I said, with air, which I put out here, c-bet out of position with air, which we've seen him do. And now Terry Zapp over bets, and Ashman folds. So, feels like probably that was a good chance that was a bluff. There's the $1 min open raise from Ashman. Hand to God. Folds it up. Crazy Ashman. 3-2. It seems like sometimes I'm either getting like so many hands or I'm just completely card dead at tables. This table has definitely been a card dead table situation. This will be my last hand, Ace 2. Not gonna get it done. So I'll have to fold it up, and that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. This is the first of my global poker videos that I'll be posting. Hopefully crushing NL50 here on Global Poker, and then NL100 here on Global Poker. That's it. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, do me a favor. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time. PokerDad